3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you, you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Being on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no. Men don't teach, screaming Bondi, ho. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom while you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that done moved up. Even if you had the slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work, gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins. So you passing out the info, but no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't doing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that, man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing gang things. Living super clean. That it came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that pop, I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect, so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Beers help me, shout it, let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. There we go. Good evening to you all. I'm so glad that we're all here. All praises to the Most High for being here, right? For seeing the day, for life, for health, for strength, all that good stuff. I unfortunately just got some bad news that somebody that I was close in conversation with. Like when we talked, we had really good conversations. I just found out that she just passed away. So I definitely want to just take a moment to say thank you to the Most High for being here. Shalom, Brianna. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're on the YouTube, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. If you are on my TikTok, that's right, I said TikTok because I can now go live on TikTok. I've reached enough followers, so I'm actually live on TikTok. You can head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Today on Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass, you don't want to be saved. We are going to just really get into what things mean and how our actions translate our intent. What's going on in Babylon? I was really struggling with this until today. Shout out to my hubby, Monologue Magad, here on this side of the screen. Shout out to him for helping me figure out what I was going to talk about. How can I not talk about Angel Reese and the whole situation with her taunting Caitlin Clark? What day was that? Sunday. I was watching the game. Well, I wasn't watching the game. I got up and walked out, but everybody else was watching it. And of course, it's just been all over the news. Everybody's talking about it. I don't want to, I mean, we all know what it is. The only reason it's a problem is because a Black woman did it. Okay. We know this. Like, I don't know if this is news to the rest of the world, but to Black women, we've experienced this all of our lives. The taunting by white women or women of other races. And then when we do it back, all of a sudden now we're monsters and we're aggressive and we're so mean. So, I don't want to like keep beating a dead horse. Okay, but I do want to take this moment maybe just to give some validation to other Black women like Angel, like myself, like I'm sure so many of us who have been in these situations where we've been taunted by others, but as soon as we taunt back, the reaction is 10 times better. It's like, oh, they can come over here and attack me, but when I step over there and attack them, all of a sudden I went too far. How is that fair? How is that right? Okay. And so now what we're seeing is this displayed just on a national scale. And of course the remarks were disparaging, but we've been dealing with that all our lives. So I don't want to sound apathetic to the situation. I don't want to sound like kind of numb to it, but I kind of feel like that's where we are. I mean, like Angel said, they've been harassing her all year, telling her she wasn't good enough, calling her everything but a child of God all year. So she's been dealing with this. Okay. So even I kind of feel like the media grabbing this and blowing it out of proportion has made it what it is. And then you have people like Keith Olbermann. What did she do? Oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna find it. Forgive me, y'all. I did not get my screens and stuff together today. All praise to the Most High. We have been busy at the print doctors. So I've been like actually doing other work. Let's see. I want to find the video for you so you can see exactly what it was. So let's see. Hold on 1 second. Okay, here we go. Oh, Fox News. They're always good for commentary. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Again, this is something that you can't see if you're on my TikTok. So please head over to the YouTube. If you're on YouTube, thank you. Give me a like and a share. Turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Okay, so we'll watch this video and then we'll talk about it.
He's Dogman is back. Part dog, part man, and all hero. Can our heroic hound and his super buddies defeat the diabolical piggy?
Why it's all small and
And why is no one helping Petey? Can they step forward to save the city?
Okay, no, it's not going to play it for me. Okay, it's not gonna play it for me like I wanted it to, so it would like broadcast the story to you. So basically, I don't know if you're familiar with this move here. um, it supposedly originated with John Cena, who's like a wrestler. Um, it's supposed to be like some kind of taunt, like a "you can't see me, you can't beat me," whatever. So not last week, the week before last, a player from Iowa State, I'm gonna just say that so you can figure it out. She did this to another team. They were playing in the March Madness or whatever. She did this to someone. Now, when she did it, everyone was talking about how she's, such a sportsman and how she goes so hard in basketball. And oh my gosh, she's such a queen. Look at her. But so on Sunday, when LSU was whooping up on Iowa State and won the championship, Angel Reese, aka Fly J, returned the taunt to her and then added the little, point to her ring finger. And when she did it, just the eruption went crazy. Twitter went crazy. White people from everywhere were coming out of the woodwork to just tell her, how much of a thug she is and how ghetto she is and how unsportsmanlike her conduct is and she's bad for the game and everything else. So, of course, everybody's screaming racism, racism, racism. And clearly that's what it is. There's no other way to, define the disparity in the response to the behavior. But I think that we should just take this moment as Black women to like, okay, all right. See, I'm gonna get to this. I was wondering what was the big deal because a Black girl did it. That that is the big deal. If if you remember when Andre Agassi was a big tennis player, not Andre Agassi, John McEnroe. He's known for throwing tennis rackets at people, cursing during the game. He became famous for this. Just that's what people in sports do. You tease each other, you talk crap back and forth. But like I was saying earlier, this isn't new for Black women. Like we're used to this. Is not a surprise. We're not surprised at the difference in the behavior. This is what happens to us. Okay, I personally am thinking of at least 3 situations right now that I clearly remember in my lifetime being taunted, being talked to crazy by a white woman or a white girl. And then when I go to respond, everybody wants to gasp and clutch their pearls. But no, where was all this shock and awe when this woman was verbally assaulting me? Okay. And then we're not even going to get into the microaggressions. I will never forget. And this, oh my gosh, this is like sticking out so clearly in my head. I will never forget this white girl called me girl. Like she said something snippy to me. I said something snippy back to her. And then she hits me with the girl. And I'm like, hold on. You don't call me girl. I didn't mean it like that. Listen here, Miss Nancy, there's no other way that you could mean that. Given the context of the situation that we're in right now, Like, there's no other way that you could have meant that. Sorry, y'all. I got allergies. There's no other way that you could have meant that. Okay, so it's a little micro. Listen, I'm sure we all could give our personal stories. Okay, about this, especially, once you start working and going to school around them. Okay. Oh, you caught the Miss Nancy. Okay. I wonder if anybody was going to catch that, Miss Nancy and Mr. Charlie. Um, so, I feel for her. I get it. It's like she's going through it, but like on a national stage, like everybody is watching her, and everybody wants to chime in and put their 2 cents in. And what I don't like is people trying to move this from a race issue to a gender issue. The disparity was not between two people of different genders. Okay. That's not the difference that is that's not the difference in the perpetrators of the behavior that's sparking the difference in the reaction. Okay. We're not talking about Angel Reese and playing against a guy, and a guy, that's not what this is. So I don't like that some people are trying to move this into a gender conversation. Okay. Just to spark further gender wars, because now if it comes to gender, we can still put black men against black women because they want to point out Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Muhammad Ali. That has nothing to do with this situation. I am particularly referencing a conversation that was had on Skip and Shannon. It was not a male at the other end of this conversation. It was a white woman. Okay. And what I'm saying is, for the sake of us as black women, we can't let them turn this conversation into a man versus woman, because then it becomes us versus us. So I'm not going for that. You're not going to spin this at that angle. It is what it is, and it's a race issue, and it needs to be dealt with as such. I mean, at the end of, and I hate to say this, but at the end of the day, the public conversation is kind of pointless, because, like, they're not going to change. These people are not going to stop being racist overnight because what we said something for the millionth time. So on a wide scale, it really is kind of serving as a distraction and fodder. But on a smaller scale, as far as affecting our personal lives, I feel like it's a conversation that we need to have. And honestly, if you have people around you that are open to having this conversation, if you have white people around you that are open to talking about this, I think that we should do that. I don't believe in pushing away allies. And here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that everybody has to be wanting to go out, and become a martyr for the cause, y'all, but like, help is help. You know what I mean? So if you have someone in your vicinity, area, whatever, that's willing to have the conversation, then yes, the conversation needs to be had. But it's like another day, another dollar in this place. It's kind of like what they do. Okay, something else I wanted to talk to y'all about for what's going on in Babylon. I'm gonna pull it up. Unfortunately, it comes from the bowels, the bowels of the internet. And what do I mean by the bowels of the internet? You guessed it, the shade room. Why do I call it the bowels of the internet? Because it's like anything that you want, if you want to find something to be ashamed of, that's where you go, to the shade room. I don't know how many of y'all are aware of Sukiana. She called herself Sukiana the Goat, or Suki with the good. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. If you've seen, how did I get introduced to this wonderful person? She had a video to come out, was it last year? Maybe a few years ago or whatever. She came out with a video that was basically porn. It was basically lesbian porn disguised as a music video. That's the best way I can think to put it. Okay, so now you know who Sukiana is. Little Mama, on the other hand, we all know her from jumping on stage with Jay-Z and Alicia Keys. But before that, we knew her for, My Lip Gloss Is Popping. Like, these present as two different people from two different ends of a spectrum. Okay. So I've learned in my lifetime is girls like Sukiana, they don't respond well to criticism, even when they are doing foolish things like being dog walked by their hair. Okay, I had to pull this picture up because I wanted y'all to see this. This is NLE Choppa. Okay. This is Sukiana and another rapper. And yes, he is dog walking them by their weaves. And, Little Mama has something to say about this. Of course, and I don't know why. Here we go. I wanted y'all to see the better. There's a better picture, if that's what you want to call it. Little Mama had something to say about this. And I get it, but Sukiana's response, it was I'm not surprised by her response at all. Yeah, that's her, honey. That's her being dog walked. Listen, like, we are so far gone as Black women. It's not even fathomable. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not even fathomable the amount of work that it would take to turn us around. And it hurts because you never want to when you begin to understand that we really are all family. We're one big family. We come from Jacob. Once you begin to understand that, you can't help but to feel some kind of empathy, some type of I don't know if you want to call it altruism or whatever, towards other Black people, even if you don't know them. You know what I mean? We have the same background. We come from the same place. A lot of us have similar or the same stories. So you feel connected to them. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to see anything bad happen to anyone. And even when you look at women like Sukiana and women like her, Natalie Nunn, these girls, the baddies, these type of women, when you're looking at them, it's an embarrassment. And it's disgusting. But it's like, what do you do? What do you do? Because the money. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And this is the personification of the love of money being the root of all evil. Okay, because there's no other reason why these girls are out here defaming themselves. I don't care what they say. If there was not so much money behind their liberation and the empowerment of their sexuality, what other reason would they have to walk around like this, to do these things? Okay, everybody talks about likes and attention. True. The majority of people, your roundaway girl, your cousins and them, you know what I mean? Yes, they're doing it for likes and attention, but you have certain of us, and you know how it goes. Certain of us are handpicked and chosen, okay, to be granted access to a larger sphere of influence and the checks that come with it. And so what you have is people literally being paid to play the Pied Piper. The Pied, if y'all don't know the tale of the Pied Piper, come on now. The Pied Piper is an old tale about a guy who would play a flute and go to different neighborhoods, and the children would leave from those neighborhoods. And the parents would never see them again. So that's the tale of the Pied Piper. And now does it make sense why they called him the Pied Piper of R&B? I'm gonna let y'all sit with that for a minute. She also had a video crying when she first came out, saying she sold her soul in a contract and she didn't know it. She has no control over herself. She's on. Yeah, and I fear a lot of them are in that situation. And I don't like that wording. If that's the wording that she used, because it's kind of misleading. The selling of yourself comes when you are doing things that you would not normally be inclined to do. I'm gonna say it like that. Okay, take a girl who wants to rap. Take any female who wants to rap and be taken seriously. We all know it's gonna come to a point where you're gonna have to start taking your clothes off here. You're gonna have, you know what I mean? You're gonna have to fall in line. Okay, you're gonna have to take your clothes off. You're gonna have to shake your butt. There's just certain things that you are going to have to do. And this is the selling of your soul. This is when you start to let the love of money become more than the love of anything else. The love of yourself, the love of God, anything else. Nothing is more important. And so see, and this kind of goes into the main topic, but it's these kind of hard and fast rules that people have a problem with these days. Nobody wants to accept the fact that the consequences of your actions are set in stone, no matter how you feel about them. Okay, sure, you can choose to do the thing, but once the thing is done, the effects, the consequences, these are non-negotiable. They are real and they exist. Okay. Even the invisible effects. And what do I mean by that? The emotional effects, the mental trauma. Sometimes we put ourselves in horrible situations and get involved with people who, to be honest, if we had not been in sin, we would have never run into these people in our lives. Okay. And so we're in these places we were never meant to be, with these people we were never meant to know, and things that were never meant to happen to us start happening. And you know, we live in a day and time of YOLO and living in a moment and all this other stuff, but it's not just the moment. Those bad decisions can affect you for years. Some people stay bound with stuff for the rest of their lives. Some people die struggling with the sin that came from a snap decision. And to blend into the main topic, we're just going to take it right into the main topic. The main topic, you don't want to be saved. Why Boaz don't want your ass? You don't want to be saved. Okay. So what I was saying, first of all, like, share, subscribe if you're on the YouTube. Let's start there. Hit the like button, share it with your friends. Listen, even if you don't share it, just hit the share button and push copy link. YouTube will read it as a share. We want to get in the algorithm out there. Okay, I think I'm going to stop going live on TikTok right now, and I'm going to switch over to the gram because I don't want to forget about those people. Right? They've been here since the beginning. Okay, there we go. All right. Why Boaz don't want your ass? And I titled it, You Don't Want to Be Saved, because we have to accept the fact that the world really is black and white, right and wrong, left and right. There's not this murky gray area that we have been misled into believing exists in the world. And what do I mean by that? Okay. We were given a specific set of commandments to keep. Okay. We all, especially those of us who claim to be Bible believers, Bible readers, Christians, whatever you choose to call yourself, we who claim to live by the Bible have been giving a particular set of rules to live by. And there are reasons for these rules. Some of them are written out in words, some of them you learn as you live life. But there are reasons for these rules, okay? And like a child with their parents, we don't understand these rules. So because we don't understand them, we feel like the Most High just made them to torture us, or so that we would miss out on something great on life, right? Like he just hates us and he doesn't want us to enjoy life. So he's making all these terrible rules for us. But as has become evident in this day and time we're living in, when you start deviating from those rules and you start making exceptions and watering down the intent of the rule, now you come back with this murky attempt at homogenization. Okay. And homogenization is the process that they use to clean the milk, cow milk, after they express it from the cow, the homogenization and pasteurization, where they take all the germs out and they mix the cream and the water. I don't know if you've ever seen fresh milk, but the cream and the water will separate. So in this homogenization process, they're put together. So when you buy the milk, it just looks like the white liquid. But if you go to like a Whole Foods or something and you look at raw milk, you'll see the difference. And so what happens to us when we refuse to be separated by the keeping of the law of the Most High is we begin to become homogenized with the world around us. We were never meant to partake in these things. And, it's hard to accept certain things. It's hard to accept the fact that someone who is of the Hindu religion doesn't have the restrictions that we have. Okay. They can eat they don't eat cows, right? Like they don't eat cows. But they eat pigs and stuff, right? So you might be feeling like, well, if he can eat pigs, why can't I eat pigs? I would hope that by seeing the difference in the rules from one religion to another, that maybe it would help you to accept that certain things are for certain people. Yeah, we're just gonna say it like that. Certain things are for certain people and certain things are not for certain people. Okay, even just to bring it a little maybe closer to home, men at a time were expected to go to war. They were expected to fight. They were expected to go out and do the hunting. That's what men are made for. They have the stronger muscle mass. They don't have the monthly cycle changes that would leave them incapable in case of an attack. They're men. This is what they're for. There was a time when we accepted that, we knew that, we embraced that. That was our strength, that we had these strong men among us. Okay. But now that we've moved away from accepting the fact that men are men and they have their place and their function, and women are women and we have our place and our function, now we're trying to make everyone be the same. Right. And so that might sound good at the end because that is the fake slogan, goal, or whatever of equality. Like, hey, we're all the same and we're all equal. But that's a lie. That is a lie. And you know it's a lie when you take a man who was 500th, okay, in his swimming division. He ranked number 500. He goes to swim with women, and all of a sudden he's number one and he's winning. How do you explain that if we're all the same and everyone's the same? It's been proven over and over again that we are not the same. Okay. It's been proven over and over again that society as a whole and our families benefit from us recognizing our differences and embracing those differences and thriving in our roles. And so now we've come to a point where women don't want to be women anymore. They want to be women and they want to be men. And you can't want to be a man and expect a man who's not looking for a man to want to be with you. No one wants to accept the reality anymore of the man that you choose. You are also choosing his behavior, his lifestyle, his choices, and his decisions for your life. And I titled this, You Don't Want to Be Saved, because instead of us looking for a man who is making all those right choices, decisions, his lifestyle reflects one that out of our mouth we say we want to live, we won't choose him. But what we will do is choose this one who seems to live the total opposite of what we say we want. Right? Like you say, oh yes, I want to be married. I want to I want to have a family. I want to be stable. You say you want these things, but then you choose men who are out every weekend, out every night, makes it very clear that he's not interested in marriage, but he said that he wanted to get married one day and somehow you heard to you. So now you feel like you walking around like y'all pre-engaged. Like he just about asked you to marry him. And that is the furthest thing from reality. And here's a little sidebar. We get so caught up in that you start giving you start pouring more into a person than they ever asked you for. And then when you're all empty and spent, you're looking at him like, well, I did this for you. And he looking at you like, well, I never asked you to. And what do we do with that? Instead of us taking responsibility and acknowledging our mistakes and our behavior and saying like, hey, he didn't ask me for this. I did kind of jump the gun here. I imagined this whole relationship. Instead of us taking that kind of responsibility, and acknowledging this, we'll just go on blaming him as if he laid out all this cheese and oh no, we just found ourselves in a mousetrap. Now, I'm not saying that men don't do things to lead women on, okay? It's some good game out here. I get it, all right? But what I am saying is at a certain point, okay? And here's the thing. Here's us not wanting to face reality, the black and white, the yes or no. It's either on or it's off. All right. If he likes you for real, like for real, there will be no question. You wouldn't have to guess. You wouldn't have to wonder. You wouldn't. This is how you start imagining a relationship. You're imagining things that aren't there. You're imagining actions that he never displayed to you. Okay, let me not say it like that, because y'all might say I'm blaming the victim. You are taking words and letting them be actions when they're not. Okay. I can tell you all day long, I'm coming to pick you up, I'm coming to pick you up, I'm coming to pick you up. But if I never get there, then I'm just talking. I mean, you literally have to take that point of practicality into your decision making, especially when it comes to choosing a husband. Is he doing what he says he's going to do, or is he just saying what he wants to do? Anybody, listen, I can have the best intentions in the world, right? I can tell you, like, tomorrow I'm gonna come by, I'm gonna watch your kids, I'm gonna clean your house, don't even worry about it, you can go and rest and take a nap. Okay, but if I never show up, then my good intentions ain't worth a hill of beans. Like, it's worth nothing. And that's what we as women need to start understanding. My single sisters, when you're out here dating, words are like the wind. His words are worth the breath that he used to say them. That's literally all his words are worth. It's not until you see the action solidifying those words, okay, that now he's starting to prove himself. Now he's starting to earn some trust. Now he's starting to earn some credibility. All right. But a nigga smile at you and you ready to run off into the sunset, and he never even asked you to do that. He might have just thought you had a nice smile, but you done turned it into a whole. And don't say we don't do it, because we do. And then this is what leads to a lot of the perceived anger. And you're really just angry at yourself for falling for the game. And I get it, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I ain't never fell for some lines. Okay, but are you going to open your eyes, okay, and see things for what they are, and realize what part you played in this? And here's the thing, don't think that all praise to the Most High. Thank you, sis. Don't think that you opening your eyes to your own personal behavior in one part of your life will not spill over into other parts of your life, because it will, for the betterment of you and those around you. Okay, it will, and it's work that needs to be done. And I feel like, people throw around the word doing the work, but it's like, what work? What are you talking about? And here it is when people want to attribute godly principles to worldly propaganda. They'll say things that may sound good, but when you critically think about it, you realize it's a bunch of fluff and air, because what's the work? No one can tell you. until we go to the Bible and we see what the work is. Okay. And now once you start doing this work, once you start positioning yourself to be in tune with the Most High, to be in tune with what He wants for your life, it is going to lift up the blinders to so many other areas of your life and so many other relationships. Let me tell you, honey, buckle up, okay? Buckle up. Because even though, like, for years I had been slowly coming into the truth, once my husband came to me with that final puzzle piece and I was able to like begin to understand a little bit more, it's like other things, other light bulbs in my life started coming on. Some things that were going on in some of my personal relationships with my family, things were getting exposed, and I'm realizing, like, wait a minute, this is not what I thought it was. Oh, hold on, I've been lied to about this. So I'm telling you, okay? So please, I'm imploring you, because a lot of us are making these rash decisions, again, not understanding that those consequences are very real. While you may feel like you are in a daydreamy, oh, everything's going to be okay, this is all going to work out state, what in the world are you basing that on? We get caught up in this talk of the universe and fate and my intentions, and I can have what I want, which is a bunch of witchcraft. Okay, but we get caught up into it and think that we are going to rewrite what God has already written about our lives, and you can't do that no matter how hard you try. I don't care how many candles you light. I don't care how much sage you burn, how much incense you get. You can do whatever y'all be doing. If He don't want you, He don't want you. And what you don't realize is trying to manipulate Him into wanting you is only going to come to your detriment. It's only going to wind up hurting you in the end. And now you're going to be bitter, burnt out, and lonely, talking about all men are dogs, when the fact of the matter is He told you He didn't want you and you wouldn't listen. Not only did He tell you, He showed you. What do you mean? Them times that He didn't call you and you had to call Him, them times when He didn't text you and you had to text Him, them times when He did call you and it was 2, 3 in the morning, or you got the you up text and your silly behind responded. Listen, you can, and again, this is what I hate, but I'm reading a book, and I'm so glad I picked this book up because it's like confirming a lot of my thought process. And so again, like, we get this idea of what romance and relationships should be from television and the media, right? We get the idea of what our man should be. We let people who have never lived our lives or been in our situations tell us what we need, what we're supposed to look for, how a man is supposed to treat us and all this other stuff. And I know what you might be saying, like, well, now we have Black people telling our stories. Ma'am, sis, cousin, let me assure you that the Black people that are telling your stories are not very much like you. And that's all I'm going to say about that. They're not very much like you. Mixed signals are a sign. Big red flag. If you have to question it, it ain't for you. Absolutely. There will never be any room for doubt. Okay. When my husband was sure that this is what he wanted, I never had to question. There was never a doubt. Even if I did ask a question, he was very happy to remind me. All right. So no, you're absolutely right. If you have to question it, it is not for you. Hit the like, share, subscribe button so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I just started being able to go live, so I'm excited about that. All right, so like you have to you just have to really we have to get out of this lie of unconditional love. All right. And even with women, we fall for that, and we're the biggest victims of that because we feel like we're entitled to unconditional love. And I think that just for it starts with the lie that God loves us unconditionally. And I know nobody would say, "What do you mean God loves everybody?" Of course he no, it's a lie. He does not love us unconditionally, and we cannot love him unconditionally. Okay? There are rules and guidelines and expectations. Okay? There are tangible, quantitative elements to you loving God. You can make your mouth say all day that you love God, but if you are not keeping his laws and commandments, then he very clearly says that you don't love him. Okay? And when it comes to loving God, if he's saying that you don't love him, what anyone else says does not matter. Just like if I'm telling my husband, "Hey, I want flowers. If you love me, you'll bring me flowers. If you love me, you'll bring me flowers." He can go out and get me the sun, moon, and the stars. But, sir, I said, if you love me, you'll bring me flowers. And a lot of us won't bring God flowers. We'll go out and get the sun, the moon, and the stars, but we won't bring him the very simple flowers that he asked for. The Lord does not ask you to go to church every Sunday and empty your wallet so that you and your family have to live in dang near abject poverty to prove that you loved him. All he asked you to do was keep his laws and commandments. The Lord does not ask you to spend all of your time everywhere else running to and fro to the neglect of your husband and your children to show him that you love him. All he asked you to do was keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. All he asked you to do was stay home and take care of your husband, cook for your kids, and clean up the house. You're not supposed to be running back and forth to sister so-and-so and this sister circle and that sister circle. The Bible tells us to not be sitting in the multitude of women, because just like moth comes from garments, so does wickedness come from women. And this is another thing. We don't want to accept this reality. And listen, I know it gets hard, okay? Sometimes when I'm listening to some of these sermons, some of these brothers preach, I have to turn it off because it's like, I'm not that bad anymore. I'm not better than the next woman. I'm not saying that. I'm still very much human, very much in this flesh, very much striving day to day to prove myself worthy of the calling and election. Okay. So, I'm not saying I got it all together or anything like that, but like when you understand that the disobedience of women literally led to the fall of and when I say humanity, I mean us, okay? Literally led to the fall of humanity. Did not only that, it's sad to say, but you can go through the Bible and see where women have. Look at King Solomon, the wisest man in all the world, and what did it take to mislead him? And see, here's the thing. We've been so talked out of the acknowledgement of the power that we have. Okay, because clearly we do have some sort of power. Hello, the fall of humanity. Hello, Adam picked out by God. Okay, the man is naming animals like he's chilling. And all it took was a woman to be led by her emotions. Okay. Because if she was exercising her logic, then she would have, wait a minute, why am I listening to you? My husband over here. Who are you? Where did you even come from? Why am I going? I don't know you. Matter of fact, let me go get my husband. If she'd have had her logic, okay, but what did she do? She allowed herself to get swept away with the idea of a power that she thought she needed, right? The power to see good and evil. You'll be like God and your eyes will be open. And I can't tell you how many times I shake my head and I'm like, I never needed to know good and evil. I did not need that. But here we are today. And in the midst of talking about Black women's hair and making fun of Black women for wearing lashes and why y'all ain't got no edges and calling each other, talking about our bodies, in the midst of the BBLs and the butt shots and the fillers and the Botox, in the midst of all of this, we refuse to accept that it was our behavior that led to us being cursed, not just in Genesis with Eve, where we are cursed now with pain of childbirth. But if you go, I believe it's in Deuteronomy, where it talks about how the women of Zion were haughty, and now our scalps are stricken with baldness. And we'll walk around and we'll look at our moms, our aunties, our grandmas with alopecia, with their hair falling out, with no end in sight. Well, I remember sitting in the beauty salon when I was younger, and this lady had finally got her hair to start growing past her shoulders. But it wasn't enough. Like the hairstylist said, no, this is actually dead ends. And the lady cried so hard because she just wanted some hair on her head. I remember this clearly. And so for now to see us refusing to acknowledge the fact that we put ourselves in this position, it continues to baffle and astonish me. Because we'll pretend to want the answers. We'll pretend to look for answers. We'll pretend that we really have a question that we want the answers to. But as long as the beauty supply store is open, and as long as Dr. Miami is available, and as long as I can catch a flight to Miami and get this BBL for $700, I'm not interested in anything that you have to say. I don't want your answers. I'm not interested in your God. I don't want to keep a law. I'm not going to let no man tell me what to do. And unfortunately, we've let this banner of feminism and womanhood lead us straight to the pits of hell. What do you mean hell? You're not happy. You're in debt. You're going broke. Your body is falling apart and you can't figure out why. You done paid to have all the stuff inserted. You got the silicone, the Botox, the fillers, right? And now you looking at Black China, Angela White, and now you wishing that you had the money to get your stuff removed too. This is what I'm saying. Yes, praise the Lord that this sister is now free. Praise the Lord. I hope she really means what she says. But in the meantime, the souls that have been led astray. And we cannot, Angelina, shalom and shalom. And this is what I'm saying. We cannot follow the whims and the fancies of the world, okay? Because here's the thing, right? I'm sure that Miss Angela is praying for you. Like, I'm sure she wants, but ma'am, sis cousin, just like she didn't write the check for you to get the surgery, she's not going to write the check for you to get it undone. And I don't mean to pick on her. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying in general, I want us to wake up as Black women, because we latch on to these faulty role models that are only meant to mislead us. And then when we're in trouble, we want to sit around looking for someone to blame, when in actuality, all we have to blame is ourselves. Mary Lou Perez, shalom and shalom. Thank you, sis. That's actually my husband's song right here. Okay. And so we just have to face reality, y'all. We have to face reality. We have to understand the fact that God means what he says, and he's not playing with us. He's not, this is not a game. Your life, your children's lives, it's not a game. And we are playing pity pat with it as if we're going to get another chance. There's no other chance. This is it for you. Okay, you clocked in when you were born, and when you clocked out, all your work is going to be reviewed. And what is going to be said? What is going to be said about you and about what you did? I'm going through a rough patch with one of my daughters right now. And I was talking to my husband about it, and I'm like, you know what? I have to stand on the word because I have to give an account for what I did as her mother. The Lord is going to ask me about my decisions in parenting. And if I say anything besides, I was trying to do what the Bible says, like it, how can I even form anything like that to, you know what I'm saying? Anything other than that to come out my mouth? I can't. And this is what we all have to listen. You're going to have to give an answer for this. And TV's not going to be there. The media is not going to be there. There's not going to be public health statistics to explain your decision. You're not going to be able to blame anything. It's just going to be you and the playback of your life. And so think about it even right now today. Your life today, where you are right now today, is the sum total of the choices and decisions that you have been making up until now. Look at it in every area of your life. Okay. Your financial situation is the sum total of your choices and your decisions that you have made in accordance to your finances. Open your phone, look at your apps. Which one of those apps has the most of your money? Which one of your subscriptions, which store gets the most? How many times you been to McDonald's this week? The current status of your personal life is the sum total of your choices and decisions in choosing a mate. The status of your marriage is the sum total of your choices and decisions inside of your marriage. And see, I know it gets hard day to day. When you're in the situation, it's hard sometimes to be the bigger person. It's hard to walk away. It's hard to be obedient. And I want to prepare you for something, because a lot of sisters think that trying to live biblical womanhood is easy, or that, you know, staying feminine is some kind of walk in the park. Now, let me tell you that in a lot of aspects in life, it is easier. It makes a lot of things easier, but that does not mean that life itself is just going to be a breeze now, because we have to remember, as much as we recognize and we say, okay, yes, I want to live according to the word. This is what I want to do. We still have 20, 30, 40 years of indoctrination, of bad decisions, of bad teaching, of bad influence. We still have all these years of all this stuff to fight through. Right. And so I'm not going to lie. I'll tell my own testimony. Some days I love being a housewife. Some days I cook and I clean with ease and with pleasure. And there are other days when I wonder, like, am I making the right decision? Did I miss something? Am I selling myself short? Like, you know, I'm supposed to be an intelligent woman. People don't know that I'm smart. I have to fight those things. Okay. But I've come to the realization that even when those thoughts try to intrude, no, this is where I'm standing. I now can personally attest to the Spirit raising up a standard. No, this is not what we're doing. This is what's going on. Let me read this comment. That's right. I learned my lesson. I'm waiting patiently. Obedience, shamefaced, and being humble are the most important things, and quiet. Woo, I'm working on those things. All praises. All praises. Yes, listen. The gift of being quiet, okay? That is something that we should all really strive for. But I hate when I lose my thought. Okay, anyway, back to facing reality, because that's where I'm going with this. And so, yes, I can tell you you don't want to be saved. How can I tell you that? Because the Bible clearly lays out guidelines for behavior for those who want what God has for them in their life, right? Like he clearly says, keep my laws and commandments and I'll bless you. Abide in me and I'll abide in you. We read Psalms 23 all the time and it's like, we just, ugh. You don't want to be saved if the directions to your salvation are right in front of you and you choose to neglect them. Okay. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it. You don't want to lose weight if you don't get up and work out. You don't want to change your body if you won't get up and work out. You don't want to do the thing that you claim you want to do if you're not willing to put the work in to do it. Okay. You don't really want to get married if you're not willing to keep your legs closed long enough to find a husband. And I have no qualms about saying that. You don't want it. You don't want a better life if you won't get up and work every day. It just doesn't work like that. Okay. The notion, the fantasy that, oh, all good things are going to come to me and all I have to do is lay here. It's a bunch of bullock. That's what it is. And we have to stop ascribing to it in any area of our lives. It's not going to work. Spiritually, it is not going to work. I don't care how much you say you love God. I don't care how much you play your praise and worship music and you just cry out to the Lord. That does not mean anything to him if you are not keeping the laws and his commandments. And he even says this repeatedly. He's not even hearing you. It's like you're literally talking to a brick wall. And instead of you accepting that reality and educating yourself, coming to the decisions that you need to change, instead of doing that, you'll continue to walk down your path of ignorance, feeling like, well, if I don't acknowledge that piece of truth, then it doesn't affect me. And that is a lie. That's a lie. Because guess what? If you're driving along and you don't acknowledge the stop sign and you run that hoe, the police are going to pull you over and it is going to affect you. Okay? You may decide to walk outside and not acknowledge that it's raining, but the fact is it's raining and you're going to get wet. You can choose to not acknowledge the truth all you want. But the fact of the matter is the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And the more that you keep walking in rebellion, the more that you continue in your witchcraft, the further you deviate from the plan of God in your life. And I hate to say it, the longer your journey is back to where you belong, back to where you're supposed to be. And you run out. and listen, I'm really beginning to hate Americanized Christianity for all the misleading that it's done of our people, because they will show you these commercials where people repent and they ask for forgiveness and they come to get saved. I know y'all can't see both sets of hands. Okay, here we go. Where they try to get saved or whatever, and they come and they cry and they're like, oh, Jesus has made me a new person. I feel so whole and I feel so no. Listen to me. That is the emotional entrapment of American Christianity. It don't work like that. Okay, the real change comes when you have to put one foot in front of the other and walk this thing out on a daily basis. Now the real change comes. Okay, it's one thing when you're in the church building and you go up to the altar and you say, all right, I'm not gonna steal no more. I'm not gonna steal from work no more. I don't care how much money in the cash register. I'm not gonna steal from work no more. That's all well and good. You be feeling good on Sunday. You even be feeling good when you get home from church. Y'all done had church dinner. I'm not going to steal from work no more. All until you get to work on Monday after the lunch rush and you decide that you hungry. Now here's the test. Here's the test. Have you really changed? Did you mean what you said? And hear me, okay? I am no stranger to a struggle. All right, I know what it is to struggle with. I know what it is to be doing something and also praying to not be doing that thing at the same time. At the same time. All right. So I'm not downplaying. I am not dismissing a struggle. That's not what I'm doing here. But what I'm saying is, let's stop acting like that everything changes in an instant. I hate, yeah, I know. It sounds kind of heavy. It sounds I don't want to say depressing, but I guess it could be, if that's what you were banking on. But we got to start facing the reality of our lives and our situations here, because that's the only way we're going to get better. It's not in an instant, ma'am, sis cousin. All right. It takes a while. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Even a lot of the changes that you need to make are not going to come until you get in the marriage that you're supposed to be in. A lot of people want to like, what commercial is that? Is it for Hinge or it's for some online dating service? But they show two people who like the same thing, and the slogan is like, find who gets you or whatever, right? But I'm gonna tell you from my personal experience and also from my observation of other married couples, the most successful couples, and I'm gonna say for us, like, we're good. I don't ever want to assume for other people, but to my knowledge, the happy couples, the successful couples, these couples are actually more opposite than they are alike. And I'll take myself and my husband. You would think that, oh, y'all like all the same things, and you guys have so much in common and blah blah blah. What we have in common is our foundational beliefs. Okay, we believe in the Bible. We share a common doctrine. We have the same, we worship the Most High. We believe in biblical order. These are the things that we have in common. But when it comes to our day-to-day stuff, T. Washington, shalom and shalom. When it comes to like our day-to-day stuff, we don't even like the same TV shows. I watch my stuff and he'll tolerate it and watch it with me, but he don't necessarily like what I like, and I don't necessarily like what he like. He tried to make me watch John Wick the other day, and I tried to stay awake, y'all. I really did, but it just wasn't my thing. Okay. And so you're like, well, wait a minute, how does a marriage work if you're total opposite? Like, I like I like early 2000s, 90s R&B and like up north East Coast hip hop. My husband likes old school Atlanta hip hop. Like we like two different things, but how do you make it work? We love each other. So sometimes we listen to his stuff, sometimes we listen to my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we'll watch what he want to watch. Sometimes we'll watch what I want to watch. You gonna watch that mug next week? Oh, it's 4 John Wicks. Oh Lord. Terry over here talking about she loves John Wick, girl. Listen, I've only made it through the first one, and I got to the part where they killed the dog. I remember that part. I know we got a little bit past that part, but I definitely remember that part. So we love each other enough to do. I love him enough to be interested in the things that interest him. Okay, my husband does music. I'm not a musician. I'm sure I listen to music, but I'm not into it like he is. But because I love him and because I want to be a part of his world, I get into it. Same thing with, my reality TV stuff. He don't like reality TV. He don't give 2x about what these women is on here talking about. And in fact, I know it gets on his nerves sometimes. But because he likes me and because he just want to spend some time with me, he'll get into what's going on with me. And see, that's the thing I think a lot of y'all don't keep watching. Okay, I'm gonna try it next week. I'm gonna give it a try next week. That's what I think a lot of y'all miss to look for. A man, you don't want a man that likes the you hate all of them. Okay. He hate all of them, okay? He hates all reality TV. He just tolerates it because of me, and I appreciate that, honey, so much. Oh, Angelina, I love you. You're a whole female truth right here. Listen, I just want you to know I only developed that because of my husband. Okay. So there's something else that you have to look forward to in that good marriage is going to bring things out of you. I only did that because again, I want to be a part of what my husband is doing. So look at me all talented, but not all praise to the Most High. But yeah. So you don't want a man that likes everything you like. At least I hope not. But if he likes you, if he takes you seriously, if he wants to get to know you and he wants to be a part of your world and the things that you're doing, he's going to make himself available to do that. He'll sit there with you and watch the TV and ask questions. Now, that's the thing. Like, we'll be sitting there watching it, and my husband may be like scrolling his phone or whatever, because he's just sitting there to keep me company. But eventually, he's gonna be like, "Oh, who that? Why she say that? Well, who?" And now I gotta pause and explain everything that's going on. And I don't mind. I love doing it. Okay. But this is that's the kind of stuff you need to look for. And not to downplay dating, right? But anybody can take you out and show you a good time. Anybody can, wine and dine you, spend money on you. And y'all know me. I'm not saying that stuff is not important, okay? But 5 years down the line, heck, even a year in, 2 years in, 5, however many years in, that is not going to be what sustains your marriage. The fun stuff, that's not going to sustain you. Life is not a rap video, okay? Every day is not going to be fun and games. You're going to have to go through life. Hey, there's going to be some days when you're just sitting at home not doing nothing. And you know what? You have to be able to be comfortable enough with your husband to be comfortable enough not to do anything. And I know that's going to sound crazy because it's like, what? But you can't sit in silence with everybody. You can't sit in the house and snack on the couch with everybody. You can't do that. And then you can't do that with everyone and also have a good time. We are taught to look for the outside. He got to be flashy. He got to have this car. He got to have that much money. He got to have this kind of house. He better have. But we're not taught to appreciate the invisible things, the emotional attachment, the memories, the things that bond us together. You know what I mean? Those are my favorite moments too. When we're all sitting around on the couch and the kids are playing. Or I love watching my sons just play and run around. We both do. And it's just watching them be free. And let me tell you something, okay? Um, I call it a blessing. But I've lived a couple different phases of life, okay? And I've been through that single mother phase. And now as a married mother, I can tell you that my children now are so much more carefree and, dare I say, more innocent at this age than my older children were. All right. And it's I can accept that this is a result of my sin, right? Because if I would not have been dealing with people who I should not have been, I would not have wound up a single mother. Okay? Um and so now I can be honest with y'all in hopes that you would not make the same mistake. And let me say that not becoming a single mother um and or not being so quick to run out on your marriage. Um there there's a difference between the two sets of children. Um my boys are so carefree. That is the way I would describe it. They are so carefree. And when you look at their lives, it's just shocking, right? Because I did what I thought I was supposed to do and or what I had to do to survive as a single mother. Put them in daycare at 6 weeks. I'm back at work working 12, 14 hours a day. I'm living this life. Now, I homeschool, okay? We wake up at like 8 o'clock. All right. I'm cooking breakfast. My kids are at home. When they finish homeschool, they come downstairs to see what daddy's working on. They're outside with the dogs, they're outside playing. They don't have any stress on them. There's no stress. They're not waking up while it's still dark outside. They're not forced to. And I know a lot of people look at socialization as a good thing, but when you look at the climate of other children out here, socialization isn't all that, especially at a young age. Thank you. Thank you so much. All praise. Look, I try to keep it real with y'all again in hopes to prevent you from going down some of these same roads. So socialization at a young age isn't all it's cracked up to be. And I'm gonna say that's because we don't the children aren't given time to become firm in their own beliefs, right? Think about it. You're sending your kids to daycare, some of us at 6 weeks old. Um, Even by the time they start going to school at 5, I don't feel like that's enough time for them to become firm in their beliefs that they believe at home before we're shipping them off to be with someone for 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. That's 40 hours. They're there. And all praises. Thank you, sis. And what a lot of people are starting to understand is that our public school system is full of indoctrination. I don't know why they can't teach our children the ABCs without teaching them about how great America is and how hardworking our wonderful forefathers were. George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, yay, them. First, well, we all know why it is, but all of these lies have been woven into the very curriculum. So while your child is supposed to be learning about subtraction, all the numbers to the subtraction problem spell out Mount Rushmore, and now you got to learn about how these three great oppressors, be told lies about how wonderful they are. My children don't go through that. They learn the straight up truth. When I teach them, I'm teaching them facts. Okay. What is this minus this? It's not, solve this so I can tell you another lie about it. It's none of that. They're not conflicted with. My parents said that Easter is pagan and Easter is evil. They're not conflicted with that and going to school and seeing all the Easter propaganda and paraphernalia. You know what I'm saying? So just in that sense, there's less stress on their lives. And I feel like it displays in their attitude, but also something else that sorry, y'all, I'm trying to plug in my phone. I'm trying to. Something else that I really notice is when my kids dress themselves, they just get dressed. They wear what they want to wear. They wear whatever they feel like wearing. They're not worried about what somebody's going to say or what somebody's going to think about what they're wearing. Again, that freedom of them being at home, that carefreeness, right? That we would not have if they were in public school. And I want y'all to understand what I'm saying. There's no shade to anybody that has to send their kids to school. I'm not trying to shade you or anything like that. I'm just saying these are those differences. Okay. And the greatest feeling is to be able to give that to your children. We always say like, oh, we want to give our children the things that we never had, but I don't think that we know what it is that we're supposed to be giving them because we never had it, right? Like, share, subscribe if you're on the YouTube. I'm trying to. My phone is tripping. All right. Everybody on my IG, head over to the YouTube because my phone might die soon. At Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay. But so what I really want to leave y'all with this. Your decisions have very real consequences, okay? No matter what you wish, no matter what you think, no matter what you hope. And every second that you are putting off making those right decisions, it's another second, another minute, another hour that you spend heading in the wrong direction. Listen, no complete change is instant, okay? Often what we feel is the motivation to make a change, and that's great. But the thing about motivation is it wears off. So you constantly need to be recharging and refilling on that, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to recognize it. You cannot make bad choices and then go to God and expect him to throw a cape on and come rescue you. That's not how it works. And you're like, but wait a minute, you said I don't want to be saved. So listen to me. There's a recipe for the salvation. Okay. There's a way, there's a path, there's directions. All right. You can put in Google Maps from where you are now to where you're trying to go. All right. And there's a route to get there. Now I'm going to tell y'all, some of y'all are already on that route. Good for you. Some of you need to turn your car in the opposite direction. And that's okay. Okay. And listen, it might be a struggle to turn that car, right? You might be low on steering fluid, but turn that car, okay? Make it up in your mind that the decisions that you make are going to reflect the person that you want to be, not the person that you are. And this is, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it, okay? I want to, because part of me is like, oh, I don't want anybody to feel bad, but nah. You might need to feel a little bit bad. Like if this makes you feel bad, then you probably need to feel this bad, okay? You can't, you got to put in the work. That's the reality of the situation, okay? And for people who claim to want so much, we don't like to find out the terms and conditions of how to attain the thing that we want. Okay. We don't want to accept that. Thank you. And see, you on your way, sis. Because that's the first part. Like realizing, like, nah, I need it. I need the help. I want it. So no, that's the first part. And turning the car around, right? That's what I was talking about. Listen, and I'm not saying you're not going to struggle doing it. And this isn't just for my single sisters. This is for my married sisters too. All right. Some of y'all need to turn the car of your life around. Some of y'all are looking at your husbands feeling like, well, dang, am I doing enough? And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I feel that way too. Like, am I doing enough to be with this man? Because I see how hard my husband works. And it makes me step back and question myself. And ma'am, sis cousin, if you're not with a man that's making you do that, then you may want to reevaluate. Okay. Everybody likes to talk about how behind every good man is a good woman. Well, in front of every good woman is a good man. Okay. I cannot surpass my leader. And here's the thing, y'all be choosing him. Y'all choose him. You put him in front of you. You tell God, this is who I want, and this is who I choose. Y'all go out here and you choose him, and then you want to get mad because he's not motivated, because he don't want this $1 million lifestyle that you always picture, but he never gave you a reason to think he was like that in the first place. But that's what you choose. And then when you want to go out and explore and go out and try to network and do all these things that he's not interested in, now you're running the risk of being disobedient, and you praying to God like, and God, hey, man, ma'am, you chose that, ma'am. I told you no 50 times. I told you no. Your mama and them told you no. Your aunties and your cousins told you not to marry him, but you did. And see, and here it is. You've made this decision, and now you want to go to God and you want him to throw the cape on and save you. But if you would have just followed the directions, you would be saved. You don't want to be saved because you refuse to follow the directions to be saved. And it's just like that. You don't want the sandwich because you won't get up and make the sandwich. You don't want it. And this is not a thing that you can pass on to someone else to do for you. No, salvation is a personal journey. Marriage is a personal journey. Becoming a woman of integrity, of femininity, becoming a woman of biblical womanhood, that is a journey that no one else is going to walk for you but you. And I'm here to tell you that you will often find yourself walking that road alone. Everybody's not going to move at your pace. Once you decide that it's time for me to go, then go. Your homegirls ain't coming with you. Your boyfriend ain't coming with you. Your friends ain't coming with you. Cousin and them ain't coming with you. You and the Most High have to walk this road alone. And this is what I'm saying. Until you can understand how to be alone with just you and God, you don't need to be thinking about getting married, because a lot of times that's all it's going to be. You, God, and your husband, your mama and them, your sister and them, your brother and them. Ain't none of them going to be around. Okay? And because of the effects of not having fathers in our homes for generations, when you do have a man with some kind of authority in your home, everybody else is going to be looking at you like you're crazy. The aunties and the cousins, even some of the married ones, because they man just let them run around and do what they want to do. So when your man has some kind of authority and some kind of rules for his house, they're going to tell you, oh, he's controlling. Why is he so mean? Hold on. Why is it controlling and mean when a man has rules for his house, but all these years, Big Mama and them been telling everybody what to do, busting us up all upside and down the head, but that wasn't mean and controlling? Come on now, y'all tripping. Y'all are straight tripping. We have to be right, exactly. Your life, not anybody else's, okay? And I know that all our lives we've been told blood drips and water runs, and blood is thicker than water. But that the real thing is, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, meaning your first obligation is to the family that you made, not the family that you came from. So guess what? When mama and them is mad, when your cousins and them is calling you names, when your auntie and them is talking about you, you just have to leave them to that. And you turn your car around and follow your husband, or follow what God has for you right now. Everybody's not going. And see, here's the thing. Like, we're all cry out, God, use me. I want to be your servant. But when it's time to face the consequences of servanthood, nobody wants to deal with that because it don't taste good. It's just like in Revelation, hold on, when the angel gave John the scroll and it was sweet in his mouth, but it turned his belly sour. That's how it is when you come to accepting this truth, even about your own personal life. It's like, yes, Lord, thank you. This is what I've been looking for. This is the answers. I know that this is going to work. But when you begin to live that thing out and actually digesting it, and it actually begins to work on you, baby, that thing is going to hurt. You are going to cry. You are going to be alone. You are going to feel like you are suffering. But I assure you, okay, that if you stick to it, if you just let that medicine work, you will come out better on the end. All right. And listen, I'm not talking down on nobody. I'm not speaking down on anyone, because but for the grace of God, it could be me still in the same position 10 years later. So this is not me laughing, but this is me assuring you that if you stick to the plan and stick to your path and get in touch with God's reality, 5-10 years from now, them people won't even recognize you. You won't even recognize yourself. Okay, they're going to be so flabbergasted at you and what you're doing. All they can do is sit around with their mouths open and talk and speculate. How do I know? Because listen, baby, I'm telling you what I live. I'm telling you what I know. I'm used to being the outcast. I'm used to being the one that everybody's always like, what's wrong with her? I don't like her. She get on my nerves. Constantly just feeling misunderstood. And that, you know what? It made me say, okay, God, what do you have for me? It's like God knew that, like, if I was a people person, then I probably would have never like turn to him the way I needed to. Don't feel bad if you don't fit in everywhere. Don't feel bad if you feel like everybody else around you has a bunch of friends and you don't. That's okay. Everybody's not supposed to be a social butterfly. I really don't appreciate the fact that extrovert is supposed to be everyone's default setting, because then you come across an introvert like myself and it's like, oh, she's stuck up. What's wrong with her? I'm not stuck up. I'm just over here chilling. Like, and as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate it. So, I'm not saying that while you're going through it, that it's going to be all fun and games. I'm not. And in fact, I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to encourage a lot of y'all because I know a lot of y'all is going through it. You trying to walk through it right now. You feel like you in quicksand, like you just can't pull your foot up fast enough to take the next step. But I promise you, boo-boo, if you just keep on going, don't lean into the arms of flesh. Lean what? Not into your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him. That means you're seeking to walk in the ways of the Lord on everything, on every decision that you make. Okay. And I'm not trying to get super deep. Okay. But this even comes down to what we put in our bodies. Because a lot of y'all are just unhealthy because of the food that you eat. A lot of you don't feel good. You can't control your moods. Your face is breaking out. Your period irregular. You're bloated. Your stomach is always hurting. Your bowels aren't regular. It's because of the food that you're eating or the fruits and vegetables that you are not eating. But even the Bible tells us that the things that grow from the earth are for our healing. But y'all just want to use that when it comes to the ooey. But that counts for apples and carrots and potatoes and collard greens and spinach. It counts for everything, okay? Listen, move your body. Like a large amount of your problems are your body's response to the food that you were eating. We don't realize how much inflammation can really affect like every part of your body. And then you don't know what parts of you are inflamed. Okay. Like I can tell you, I know when I'm eating bad, my stomach is sensitive and it will let me know. Okay. And then my mood sucks because my stomach is crampy. And it's an effect. And for those of us ladies with our cycles, those of us who are nearing the end of our cycles, this stuff affects us. And we just, again, refuse to accept the reality. Like, oh, well, this is going to make me feel good right now, so I'm going to eat it. And the fact of the matter is, it doesn't make you feel good for real. Like, it tastes good, sure. But by the time it hits your stomach, you're like, oh, dang, I shouldn't have ate that. And now you end up feeling worse. Next time you feel like eating something, go for a walk instead. Get up, get a cup of water and go for a walk. Or do some crunches, do some squats or something. Like, listen, you have to find what works for you. I'm not a big change at one time person. I can't handle that. My husband has figured that out about me. He's like, oh no, you don't like no deviations from the schedule. I don't. Like in my perfect world, I would wake up and someone would read the schedule to me. Like I'm at the point now where I will write a to-do list at night. Because I just need to get it all out my brain. And I find that if I write it down, then I'm more likely to do it. So I will at night make a to-do list. Okay. Because in my perfect world, I wake up and somebody reads my schedule for me. And that's all that happens today. We stick to the schedule and that's it, right? But life's not like that. Okay. But so I find that when I'm taking care of my diet, when I'm working out, my mental health is better. And it makes me better equipped to handle any kind of small changes, deviations, or special guests to our show. Where you going? Okay. You going far? Okay, love you. Um. Oh yes, and our special guest to our show. Can you say hey, Atticus?
Hi.
Here you. No, not what you supposed to say.
Um,
How do we say hey here on the show?
can both?
No, that's Shalom and Shalom, sisters and cousins. Sorry, y'all. For those of y'all who are new here, this is Atticus. This is the youngest of the children of the House of Mono. He comes down here and closes the show out with me sometimes. But really, I want to encourage y'all. If you've already started, or if you're saying, listen, I know right now I need to start getting myself together, keep moving in that direction. Okay. You're not alone. And the thing is, the longer you delay it, the longer you're delaying your blessing. You're not hurting anyone but yourself. Because guess what? Your children are even going to grow up and live their own life, right? Your decisions aren't always going to affect them. They're going to grow up and they're going to be able to make their own decisions. And then what? Then you're really stuck and alone with what you did, the decisions and the choices that you made. Listen, look, Auntie Angelina says, Shalom, cute nephew. Say thank you. Look, somebody else said, hey, cutie. Say hi.
Hi.
He just faking shy. He's not shy for real. But I want to thank y'all. Listen, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Like, I'm here to encourage y'all. I know how it feels to be going through this and to feel like you're going through it alone. And while you may be alone in your vicinity, there are people who have been through and who are going through it. Okay. So anything I can do to encourage you, please don't hesitate. Little boy, if you aren't already following the husband, Monologue McGad, please give him a follow on Facebook, Instagram. He's on TikTok, but I gotta get him on there. Again, I am at the Wife of Mono. I am on TikTok. I am on Instagram. Go on TikTok, like my videos. Just like them all up, please. Like. Hit me with the likes. If something I said, oh, you know what? I need to change this. Because it's not the Wife of Mono anymore. It's the House of Mono. If you would like to donate, if you would like to help out, if you would like to give to the podcast, please feel free to hit the Cash App. It is at the House of Mono, not the Wife of Mono. I need to get that changed for you guys. Let's see. Okay, the businesses of the House of Mono. Oh, don't forget to download the Messiah TV app. I air there every Thursday at 8 p.m. But also they have great content. A lot of different classes, and then they just have some regular movies, documentaries, good content for the children. So download the app, follow them on your socials. Also, give us a follow at Mono's Westside Bullies. This is where Atticus, stop. This is where we showcase our American bullies. You will see them. We have another Stormy litter coming, and the anticipation of a pocket litter. If y'all have seen my baby Shira, she's a pocket bully. We will be mating her soon, so we will have some little pocket bullies. I'm sure those are probably going to go fast because, like, even when I'm outside with her, the people that are like cutting the lawns, they all like, when are you gonna get another one? There's one man, every time he sees me, he's like, my wife won't let me have a big dog, but she'll let me have a little dog. So I'm sure Shira's pups are gonna be in high demand. What you say?
Speaking of dogs, we're gonna have baby puppies.
Yeah, that's what I was just telling the people. We're gonna have baby puppies soon. Oh, hold on. I'm about to change. Bam. There you go. I didn't know I could do it that easily. Okay. If you aren't following our other businesses, I need to put them up here. But at the Print Doctors on Instagram, and Top Tier Parties is our bouncy house business here in the Metro Atlanta area. If you need a bouncy house for your next event, indoor, outdoor, water slide, dry slide, we got big ones for adults. We have activity bouncies with a little basketball hoops and the obstacle course and the slide, and all kinds of fun stuff. So don't hesitate to hit us up for your bouncy house needs. Are you okay? And let me tell you about the Print Doctors, our screen printing company. We print on all types of apparel. We would be happy to serve you. Yes, we do ship. We are known to have some of the best prices. So, if that's a need we can meet for you, we'll be more than happy to, right? I need to post some more pics of the garden because stuff is growing. I have some stuff on TikTok and on my Instagram, but I'm gonna try to get out there and get some more footage tomorrow. I keep forgetting my phone when I go out there, but no, because I have to turn the compost and stuff tomorrow, so I definitely want to get some recording of that. So I have that stuff up. But that's another thing. If y'all are growing your food, listen, if you're not growing your food already, I strongly encourage you to. Um, I listen, at this point, who knows when or how long our dollars are gonna be any good anywhere. So as much as you can prepare. Cucumbers are easy to grow, tomatoes are easy to grow, peppers of any kind are really easy to grow. I would start with those, and then once you get comfortable with those, you can, add more. You can buy potato bags to help grow potatoes. Um, what else do you like to grow in our garden? Oh, greens. You can.
Can
What?
I say something?
Okay, go ahead and say something.
I like growing watermelons and corn and broccoli and green beans and string beans and greens.
Okay. Um. So a little tip for growing greens, right? If you plant something like a rutabaga or some kind of turnip, the greens will grow on the top. That's all turnip greens are. I didn't know that. I thought it was like a different strain of like collard greens or something like that. But no, it's literally the greens off the top of like radishes and rutabagas and stuff like that. Yeah. So, if you got one of them, throw it in the ground. You can eat the greens and the vegetable. But the greens will keep regrowing. Okay, we've done that. Kale is so easy to grow. Mint is easy to grow and it's really resistant. Um, I'm trying to think what else is pretty easy. Yeah. Those are the main things. Cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, definitely super easy. And greens. And seeds are not that expensive. You can go to the dollar store and find seeds to grow stuff with. So please, if you haven't already, I would strongly encourage you to do that. You can buy fruit trees. They're not hard to keep up with. They're not obtrusive or anything like that. We have a couple in our backyard. We have a what do we have? A pear tree, a fig tree,
An apple tree?
an apple tree. No, we got rid of the apple tree
Why?
because it died last year. We got a pear tree and a plum tree and a fig tree, a lemon tree and a lime tree. And I think that's it for the trees. But yeah, what else do we have out there? I mean, we just got all kind of stuff out there, but so much stuff. I'm gonna take my camera out there because we had to use a kiddie pool to plant in, and it was super easy. You just put some holes in the bottom, put some soil in it. It's super easy. So I'm going to go out there with the camera tomorrow and share all of that with you guys, just so you can maybe get some ideas.
One time.
I know I don't talk a lot about geopolitical news, only because
3 times.
Oh, okay, go ahead. What you have to say, buddy?
4 times.
Okay, so I know I don't talk a lot about geopolitical news, only because I feel like there are plenty of outlets for that, but I just feel like as women, and again as women striving for biblical womanhood, I just feel like we don't have a lot of voices, we don't have a lot of outlets, so that's why I kind of try to stick to my stuff. But I watch news every morning on purpose. I told y'all I watch Fox News, I watch CNN. I look for news through different sources. Okay. And then there's underground news. There's also TikTok, which is very great unbiased news platform. If you were on there, you would understand why they were trying to ban it. You find all kind of great stuff on TikTok. So yeah, but all of these places are good for the news. It's just don't get caught up in the fear mechanism of it all. It was funny to me when they started talking about the bank collapsing, when Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. It immediately gave me flashbacks to everything they taught us about the Depression, right? Why did the Depression happen? Because of the run on the banks and people panicked and they went and took out their deposits. And I'm just like, why are they trying? It kind of made me wonder if they were trying to get people to do that. Because first it was Silicon Valley, then it was Credit Suisse, then it was oh my gosh, what else? I think there was another bank. And I don't for 1 minute believe that this chain has stopped. They probably just aren't telling us about it anymore. So, and again, not saying to react out of fear. That's not what I'm saying at all. But we need to be watching and paying attention. Stock up on bottled water. If you can't get bottled water, get you the jugs of spring water. I love spring water. And keep that in the house. We're at the point now where I order paper towel and toilet tissue every 2 weeks. I just do it. Just to have it, even if we don't need it, just to have it here in the house. These are the kind of things that you have to start thinking about. This is our reality. I mean, it is what it is. Like our parents talked about it, their grandparents talked about it, but we're actually living to see the collapsing of the US dollar. So yeah. Can I scratch your back? Boy, I'm trying to do a show here. Why I gotta scratch your back? Is that good? Oh my goodness. All right, we're about to go. I've enjoyed kicking it with y'all so much. Thank you. I hope something I said was helpful. Again, if you feel led to give to the effort, to the cameras, the lights, the action, all that it takes to run the podcast here at the House of Mono, please feel free to hit up the Cash App at the House of Mono. Again, give me a follow on your socials, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. What you gotta say? You gotta hurry up. We gotta go. Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins. We love you. Good night. See you next Thursday. Bye.